What's up, friends? Welcome back to Attacking Third. US Women's National Team legend, NWSL legend Kelley O'Hara is in the house. I'm your girl, Darian Jenkins, and we have a really fun segment. On the heels of Alex Morgan retiring, we did a Mount Rushmore of all-time players with Lola Bonta. And Kelley, with your very tenured career, your experience, your friends that have become iconic in the NWSL and Women's National Team, we wanted to know your Mount Rushmore. But first, how did you come to picking these players before we jump into who they are?
All right, here's the deal. I got asked to put together my Mount Rushmore of U.S. Women's National Team players. And I did a little research, went into why the different presidents were chosen and who made it up on the real Mount Rushmore. And I thought, you know what, I could do that, but truly it is very difficult to choose 4 players from the entirety of the U.S. Women's National Team history to put on the Mount Rushmore. So I said, you know what, I'm going to pick a category. And I picked the category of goals. And I actually like this because I think there's some fun things to be said about these different goal scorers and the records that they held, records that they broke. So I went goal scorer. So this is going to be U.S. Women's National Team Mount Rushmore of goal scorers.
Okay, asterisk on goal scorers.
Correct.
Okay.
And underneath their faces when they are engraved, they will have to sculpt out goals underneath.
Like the number of goals?
No, just goals.
Oh,
so you just know it's just goals.
Just
the goal scorers. Goals.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. So that is my requirement for this sculpture.
Okay, I love this. Well, I think I already have an idea then if we're going on like all-time goal scorers.
Potentially.
Well, kick us off. Who you got first?
So the all-time goal scoring player in U.S. Women's National Team history is Abby Wambach. She had 255 caps, 184 goals. So she, and I'm going to give away the second person, broke Mia Hamm's record, who held that record for, I think, over a decade. And I was on the bench when Abby broke that record. I actually might have been on the field. I know I was on the bench for the beginning of the game. So the game was June 20th, 2013, Red Bull Arena. We were playing South Korea. I think it was a nice day. Yeah. And she tied Mia's record at 158 goals, but then went on to score a hat trick in 29 minutes of the first half of that game. So tied the record, then went on to break it, and then also added a 4th goal in the late stages of the game, second half. And I think what was cool about Abby kind of tying Mia's record and then going forward and breaking it, she scored the tying goal with her head. And of her 184 goals, I don't know how many she scored with her head, but I want to say it's probably 50%, which
I think that's a good guess.
I think is probably the most header goals by any player, men or women, in the history of the game, in my opinion. I think that she could potentially hold that record. I'm not sure. Somebody fact check me.
Well, we have a whole research team that I'm sure is going to fact check and look it up. So we'll get back to you. Great. But I love the shout. Iconic. I remember watching her growing up, and especially my coaches, I was being told you need to be a number 9. You're too tall. Watch Abby Wambach. And I was like, wow, I need to not be scared to head the ball. Yes. And she's literally the player that made me fearless in going in for headers. So
oh my God, she was incredible.
Love that shout.
She made her career on that. It was feed the beast, put the ball in the box, and Abby's going to put it away.
Yeah, well, I love that. Well, easy number 1. Number 2. Number 2. Kind of gave it away, but.
Yes, I did. If you were paying attention, you know who number 2 is. Mia Hamm, she played 276 caps, 158 goals. So she held that record so she broke the previous record on May 22nd, 1999. She scored her 108th goal. She then went on, during her career, to score 158 goals. I think she retired 2005.
Something like that.
2005. Yeah. And she held 158 goals until Abby broke it in June of 2013. So the legend that she is, it obviously makes sense that she's up there statistically and otherwise.
Yeah.
Mia Hamm being number 2 on the Mount Rushmore of goal scorers. And again, these two, when you think of goals, you think of these two.
Immediately.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think Mia Hamm is by far going to be the most frequent person on everybody's Mount Rushmore. So great choice. Not mad about it. I don't think you can argue either of these. But let's move on to number 3.
Okay. Number 3, Carli Lloyd. 316 caps, 134 goals. What I find interesting about Carli being on this is that she was a midfielder for most of her career.
Yeah.
During college, into the national team. In 2015, Jill Ellis moved her up to forward, and she went on to be number 3 on the all-time goal-scoring list of players, which is pretty incredible. And I will say, it's great to have her on here because she scored a hat trick in a World Cup final in 2015, and part of that hat trick was her iconic midfield goal, which, in my opinion, might be the most iconic U.S. Women's National Team goal in history. Do you think?
It is in a way because it's like she scored it from half, and
Correct.
it was for the hat trick. But we can't forget the ball from Pino to Abby Wambach.
You're right.
The celebration after. That one's up there for me.
Because that sealed the deal for the game. You're right. Those two, they rival each other, and the fact that these two are on this Mount Rushmore of goals and were the scorers of, I would say, okay, let's say, equally iconic goals in U.S. Women's National Team history, those two are the scorers of those goals.
No, I agree. Well, chat, you can let us know what you think. Who had the more iconic goal, or is it a tie?
I would like to know.
We'll throw up a little, something for you guys to put in there. Okay,
all right.
Number 4.
Last one. Kristine Lilly. She had 354 caps. I'm just going to let that sink in for a second. 354 appearances for the U.S. Women's National Team. Her career spanned 1987 to 2010.
Oh my gosh.
She was playing on this team before I was even born, which is crazy. So she had 354 caps. She scored 130 goals. So those goals gets her onto the Mount Rushmore of goals. And I mean, again, she, with 354 caps, holds the record of the most international appearances, men or women, in the history of the game.
I mean, iconic. Wait, so you got to watch her growing up.
Correct.
And then play with her.
Yes. I watched her in the 1999 World Cup, and then I also shared the field with her.
Wow.
In training, in games. Crazy. And when she retired, I actually got a call because I had gotten kicked off contract from U.S. Women's National Team, didn't get offered a contract for the 2011 year. She retired January 2011. Got a call the next day. I think I saw on the TV, Kristine Lilly has retired, and I was like, oh, it felt a lot of things, a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
I watched her for so long. But then I got a call the next day, and they said, oh, Pia's going to put you back on contract.
Oh,
thanks, Kristine.
Everything happens for a reason.
I appreciate it. But incredible career by her, and she is part of the top 4 goal scorers for the U.S. Women's National Team.
I mean, you can't argue with your top 4, but so you got to play with, you didn't get to play with Mia.
No, Mia. I've trained with her before, though.
Okay.
She coached us a couple times in LA in the offseason, which
that's
was fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to play with 3 out of 4 of your own Mount Rushmore. How individually influential were these players to you? Like, who kind of took you under their wing, or just like maybe set the tone for you of what it means to be on the women's national team?
Honestly, they all did. Obviously, I didn't spend as much time with Lilly because of age, I would just say. But I spent a lot of time with both Carli and Abby, and they both were very instrumental in me as a player, my expectations of myself, the expectations of the team, and what it means to be a U.S. Women's National Team player. So thankful for both of them, and really lucky that I got to play with both of them.
Kelley, iconic.
And I will say
it.
I think that this Mount Rushmore of goals is going to stand the test of time. I think you could carve this Mount Rushmore right now and you'd be good. You wouldn't have to recarve.
You don't think there's anybody? where does Alex Morgan place?
She's right below. She's in 5th and she's retired.
5.
So it's, so of the 1 through 10 right now.
She's not making her way in any way.
Well, correct. Unless she pulls Michael Jordan, gets back out on the field. But I don't see that happening. But 1 through 10 of top goal scorers right now are all retired. So I don't foresee anyone coming close to even getting into this top 4.
Wow. All right.
So it's a wrap. You can make the Mount Rushmore.
All right, carve it in.
Carve it up.
Whoever's doing get to sculpting. And don't forget the goals across the bottom.
Very important.
Well, I love this. I can't argue with it. Iconic goal scorers. I love that you went with that. We'll have to do another one with defenders, though, because I actually really want to know if there's some younger players that could slot in there.
It's tough.
I think there might be.
I feel like you can't make it onto Mount Rushmore until you're retired.
Oh.
I think so.
I mean, that's fair.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I said it and I was like, you know what? Yeah, no, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, I absolutely love it. Let's do a comparison. I want to see, between yours and Lowe's. We'll have to go back and look. And of course, we want to see Kelley's defenders and possibly midfielders in the future. But everybody that's watching this, let us know what you think. Do you like Kelley's, especially about the goals? We also have to throw in Brandi Chastain, her penalty in there. Who had the most iconic women's national team for the U.S.'s goal?
Okay, but here's the thing. I'll counter you with, was it an iconic goal or was it an iconic celebration?
I think because of the pressure on the moment, it's an iconic goal. Let us know who you think had the more iconic goal, Abby Wambach or Carli Lloyd. Thank you so much for sticking with us. From Kelley O'Hara and our producers, I'm Darian Jenkins. This was Attacking Third.